Students, parents, honored guests, welcome to the Fine Arts Center commencement for the class of 2024. It is wonderful to see such a large turnout in support of this amazing senior class, especially since World Wrestling Entertainment is hosting WWE Raw at the Well tonight. I know that some of you may have been torn about which event to attend. I'm certain that you chose the right one, and we are grateful that you have done so. An honor to be here tonight with you at this beautiful venue. Our second year at McAllister Auditorium. We have, for the first time in my 5 years as FAC director, managed for consecutive years to utilize the same location for our ceremony. We feel so welcome by the wonderful staff at Furman University and would first like to thank Danielle Hernandez and her fabulous crew for hosting us. All of the details for tonight are planned by our commencement committee: Aaron Poole, Catherine Ryan, Dawn Bryan, Gloria Collins, Nicole Michelle, Dr. Catherine Smith Gates, Terry Parker Lewis, Danielle Knox, and Zane Logan. Thank you for the hours you put into planning today's rehearsal and tonight's ceremony, ensuring the best possible experience for our graduates and their families. Our FAC Parent Guild works tirelessly to support our students and teachers. We offer our heartfelt gratitude to them for their assistance with our commencement ceremony, helping with logistics, providing funding for our senior gifts, food for the junior marshals, decorations, and more. And speaking of which, thank you very much, junior marshals, for stepping up, for being nominated. Congratulations on that, and thanks for helping us with the ceremony. Our faculty and staff are the backbone of the FAC. They are the ones who set the standard. Teaching artists, equally committed to the health and well-being of the students, their own artistic journey, and the artistic growth and progress of their students, these members of the FAC family make our school what it is. They are challenged to model our school's core values, provide consistent and effective feedback, and shepherd the students through the magical, mysterious years of adolescence and young adulthood. I have had the privilege of seeing art school faculty across the country, and I'm convinced that we have the most invested, most passionate instructors anywhere. Many thanks to them for their commitment they demonstrate on a daily basis. Faculty and staff, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you to Dr. Burke Royster, Superintendent of Greenville County Schools, and the entire district administrative team, including and especially Director of Visual and Performing Arts, Mr. Bradley Wingate, for your constant support and advocacy of our school. Thank you to the Board of Trustees, whose dedication to all of the students of Greenville County Schools, and especially to the Fine Arts Center students, is unmatched. In attendance tonight to honor our students are Linda Leventis Wells, Michelle Goodwin Calwile, and Glenda Morrison Fair. Special thanks to Ms. Leventis Wells, who represents Area 22 and is a tireless advocate for the Fine Arts Center. And finally, to the parents of the class of 2024. With my twins just having finished their 9th grade year at the FAC, well, almost, next week, I can proudly say that I have joined the club. I'm neck deep in FAC class fees, challenging assignments, auditions that didn't go their way, and the insecurities that come with being part of a talented, dedicated student body. Parents, fostering the growth of a young artist is not easy, but it sure is worth it. You are part therapist, part loan officer, part taxi driver, and part cheerleader. Thank you for all you've invested in these amazing students. You kept them engaged and committed during some very challenging times. Let's not forget, they were freshmen when they were color-coded and sent to school on a specific day of the week. and then 2 days a week, and then let's not even talk about that. And they made it. The faculty and staff can confirm that your efforts have yielded a remarkable group of students who are destined to make a difference in the world. I would now like our graduates to stand, turn, and please applaud your parents. One of the traditions that I inherited from one of my predecessors is to have faculty members who started their teaching career during the Paleolithic era deliver the commencement address. Side note, in order to comply with district expectations regarding the fair and equitable treatment of employees, I must inform you that all jokes about our speaker's age have been approved by the speaker himself. Steve Watson began teaching guitar prior to many of the technological advancements that we enjoy today. Guitars at the time had only one string. Through great amounts of adversity, including a studio that flooded with the mere threat of rain in the forecast, Steve persevered. His students have survived more references to Bruce Hornsby, Dolly Parton, and the University of Miami than any group of pupils in the history of public education. Once known not only for his emotive guitar playing, but fabulous 80s attire and flowing locks of hair. He still manages to dazzle audience with his shredding guitar licks and trademark hat and mustache. The first time I met Steve was when I interviewed for the position of FAC director. There were somewhere between 14 and 48 people on the interview team. That was a joke. But Steve stood out. That's actually kind of true. It was intimidating, but I tried to engage with each member of the interview team to learn what I might be getting myself into. I was first a little intimidated by Steve, but I could tell that he was fully invested in the process. He listened deeply to my answers, gave an assuring smile when I spoke about my time at the University of Miami Frost School of Music. And as I settled into my job, I could tell how dedicated he was not only to make me feel welcome, but also to do everything he could to ensure that I would be successful. Not coincidentally, that is how he approaches his craft in the studio. I've been in jazz education for over 2 decades, and I can state with certainty that it is truly rare to find someone with the ability to take students from jazz illiteracy to jazz fluency in a relatively short period of time. He has built a lasting culture of excellence in his program. Students come to the FAC Jazz Studies studio expecting to be challenged and to grow, and they work hard to meet these expectations year after year. He's not only a master teacher, but also a celebrated musician whose career is the stuff that dreams are made of. You can read about his musical achievements in his bio, but as someone who has had the privilege of performing with him, I can speak to his genuineness on the bandstand. He is a total professional who is a servant to the music. His focus is on the audience's experience, along with the importance of the musicians listening to one another on the bandstand. After a long, fruitful career as a teaching artist, he surely has pearls of wisdom to share with our graduates. Please join me in welcoming to the podium our 2024 commencement speaker, Mr. Steve Watson.
Thank you for the kind words, V. That's very, very nice. Thank you so much. Good evening, and welcome to proud parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, siblings, this esteemed faculty of the Fine Arts Center, and the dignitaries from Greenville County Schools. But most importantly, I want to welcome this 2024 graduates of the Fine Arts Center. I am so honored to be given this opportunity to speak with you this evening. After teaching 34 years for Greenville County Schools, having a professional recording career in Los Angeles, serving as an associate professor at the University of Southern California, a lecturer at Furman University and the University of Miami. I feel that I have earned this opportunity to give you some very important advice to these graduates. This advice isn't just for the students that will continue their artistic studies, but it applies to any profession or craft that you might choose. Graduates, you sit here today on the cusp of a new chapter in your lives. The next 4 to 6 years will be the years that shape the next 60 years of your lives. The decision you have made about which university, trade school, or job you will be pursuing will forever change the path of your life. I not only want to commemorate the artistic and academic achievements that have brought us here together tonight, but I want to talk about the profound significance of 3 points that I believe will help you shape successful careers and fulfilling lives. These points are, number 1, hard work. Number 2, people skills. And number 3, learning how to have a base of friends who will help you become the most successful and fulfilled person that you have always dreamed of being. These friends will be the people who have the same values that you have. I will sincerely believe that adhering to these 3 guidelines will make a huge difference in your life. The work that you accomplish, the ability to get along with people, and the lifelong friends that you meet will have the same values that you do, will forever change the aspects of your life. These are the people who will be your colleagues, your business or artistic partners and associates, and the people that you will enjoy being around, traveling, and vacationing with. So the decisions that you make now during these next few years will, without a doubt, have a deep and lasting impact on the rest of your lives. Many times, don't forget this, you might be judged by the people around you. So choose those people wisely. Let's begin by acknowledging the incredible and successful journey that each one of you has completed at the Fine Arts Center as well as at your home high schools. I'm sure that there have been days of pure joy, especially working on those hard jazz projects. Of course. And also days of feeling like you couldn't achieve the goals that your teachers were asking. You have hopefully learned that the more you worked at the complex tasks that the teachers at the Fine Arts Center assigned, the happier you were, and how this brought fulfillment and joy into your life. In order for you to see how hard work, people skills, and choosing friends carefully have made a difference in my life, I want to cite 2 important individuals who have achieved these great attributes. The 2 people that I'm going to speak about are the ones that I've tried to model my life after. They couldn't have come from more different backgrounds. One from the South and one from Southern California. But both of them live by the 3 points that I continue to mention. These 2 individuals were the hardest working people I have ever known. They possess the ability to meet new people, collaborate, partner, and build relationships with them in order to achieve their common goals. Their group of friends and colleagues were with them every step of the way as a support system and also to be there just as their friend when times were tough and times were good. The first person I'd like to speak about is my dad, Jay Watson. Jay grew up in Greenville, South Carolina with 3 brothers and 2 sisters. These were the years of the Great Depression, and times were hard. After losing his dad when he was 10 years old, he moved in with his uncle and aunt and their 2 children. He graduated from Welcome High School. Do we know this? Oh, let me teach Mr. Wingate. This was now Carolina High School. And and he suddenly found himself, after graduating, caught up in the conflict of World War II. He served in the U.S. Navy aboard the USS Mendocino, a landing barge carrier in the Pacific theater of war. And he was taught by the U.S. Navy how to be a mechanic for the landing barges that were sent to the islands in the Pacific. And after returning from the war in 1945, he came home and was given the opportunity to attend what was then known as Clemson College, now Clemson University, by a successful businessman who wanted to help him named Frank Myers. My dad was the kind of person that everyone liked. Easy to get along with, and he never met a stranger. But instead of going to school, he used the money to become a Texaco dealer to further his work as a mechanic. He later became one of the most successful Esso Exxon dealers in Greenville at 711 Mills Avenue. This meant that my dad had to work 5 days a week from 6:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. Tuesdays were his fishing days with his friends, and Sundays were his church days. He employed a great staff that could help him run this business. There were people like him, hard-working young men, easy to get along with, and they helped attract clients who trusted them to maintain their vehicles and provide the best service in town. These men also put in the long hours just like my dad. The people that my dad associated with outside work were his church friends. These were people he leaned on for support and friendships, which helped him deal with the long hours that he had spent at work all week. A little anecdote. Everyone knew Jay Watson in Greenville, which sometimes wasn't great for me when I stepped out of line, which was rare, of course. Excuse me. Because the adult that I was in trouble with most likely knew my dad. Sometimes it was one of my dad's close friends, Ed Whitmire, who was a very powerful deputy sheriff, who I could count on to tell my dad about my slip-ups in good judgment. Happened very rarely, of course. A musician in high school? Now, this might seem to you like it has nothing to do with me becoming a successful musician and teacher, but I couldn't disagree with you more. Although my dad wasn't a musician, and he laughed at himself and he would say to me, "I can't carry a tune, son." And I certainly believed him when every day he tried to sing the Wabash Cannonball. Or I stood next to him in the church holding the hymnal and listening to him try to sing. I should have left that out, probably. But the example that he set before me every day, hard work, people skills, choosing friends and associates carefully, has led me to use the same process in my life as a teacher and working musician. Outwork the person next to you. You might not be as talented as they are, but get the job done well, on time, and to the best of your ability. Never meet a stranger. Get along with people. They are the ones who will recommend you for your first job or all of your work in the future. And associate yourself with people who have the same values that you have. I truly believe this helped my dad be a successful businessman, and has helped me in everything I have ever pursued in my life. The second person I would like to talk to you about is a man named Leland Postol, whose ancestors immigrated from the Ukraine in the 19th century. Now, odds are that you might know him by his professional name, Mike Post. His music writing and producing credits include the music for the TV series Magnum P.I., Hill Street Blues, The Greatest American Hero, The Rockford Files, The A-Team, L.A. Law, Law and Order, Hardcastle McCormick, Riptide, Doogie Howser, Silk Stockings, Renegade, Toma, The White Shadow, and many, many more. He released 2 solo records and produced a Dolly Parton soundtrack record for the movie Rhinestone in the 1980s. And Mike has just released in April a new recording entitled Message from the Mountains and Echoes from the Delta, which features a bluegrass band on one side. Now, I'm dating myself. Remember those big things that were called records? My era. And the other side is a blues band. And they're all accompanied by a full orchestra of LA's finest players in the style of Aaron Copland and Dvorak. Now, here's a little background on Mike. He grew up as a middle-class boy in the San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles. Mike went to Grant High School, which is in North Hollywood, a school that many successful young men and women attended. Most of these students' parents worked in the music or film television industry, and that's where everyone not living in Beverly Hills or Bel Air lives. The Valley. The working class people, the studio musicians, not the movie stars or the Beverly Hillbillies. Mike's classmates at Grant High School included John Williams, well-known film composer. Mike affectionately refers to him as Johnny. Tom Selleck, television actor, graduated high school with Mike, Magna P.I., and Blue Bloods. The Picaro family, well-known musicians in L.A. The Pace family, the Lukather family. All of these families, their kids are the founding members of the band Toto, who are still out on tour now. And many other successful musicians in Los Angeles. In high school, Mike was a guitarist in local LA bands playing the Sunset Strip and started to do session work with a group of musicians that are now referred to as the Wrecking Crew. They were the studio musicians when the bands like the Monkees and all these bands couldn't play. They hired the studio musicians, who were now called the Wrecking Crew, to record all the tracks for the hits in the 1960s. Mike quickly realized that his real talent was producing artists and writing music. He had an instrumental hit record with a guitarist named Mason Williams, and the song was called Classical Gas. Mason Williams was actually a comedy writer on the Smothers Brothers television summer replacement show. But Mike's first big break in television came when he was 22 years old, conducting the orchestra for the Andy Williams weekly variety show. One day he met a person by chance named Stephen J. Cannell, who was breaking into episodic TV work and needed music for one of his shows. The show was The Rockford Files. Mike realized that he needed some help in learning the business of episodic television, and he turned to one of his friends, Pete Carpenter, who was an arranger and trombone player in Les Brown's Band of Renowns. Mike understood the contemporary rock rhythm section, and Pete understood the orchestra. They were perfect musical partners for that time in TV land. They were the new kids on the block. Mike used his people skills and the knowledge of what kind of person he needed to partner with for this new venture in his life. Point 2, have people skills. Point 3, make sure you're choosing your friends wisely, folks. The show became a big hit, and you might say the rest is history. Mike's close friends were the people who employed him. Stephen J. Cannell. They must have done 20 television shows together over a period of 15, 20 years. Dick Wolf, L.A. Law, Law and Order. Stephen Bochco, Hill Street Blues. Don Belisario, Magnum P.I. Mike has produced 7,200 hours of network television music with these men. He is undoubtedly one of the most successful TV music writers in modern history. Now, you might be thinking, how could a young guy like me from South Carolina meet this man? After graduating from the University of Miami, Coral Gables, my wife and I moved to Virginia to perform with the Bruce Hornsby Band. And Bruce and I were students at the University of Miami together. Michael McDonald of the Doobie Brothers, in town on a tour for their hit What a Fool Believes, heard us in a club in Hampton, Virginia, and offered to help us relocate to Los Angeles. One of the first musicians he introduced us to was Mike Post. Luckily for me, mostly because of my musical training at the University of Miami, I was given an opportunity to work as a guitarist for Mike after we moved to LA. When I arrived, what I saw was an eye-opening and life-changing event. Here was a man who had 9 network television shows every week, and sometimes more than that if you included his movie projects and commercial projects. He could do this for one reason: he could outwork anyone in the business. His life was all about his work as a composer, an arranger, and a businessman. He had to meet the weekly deadlines of episodic television work, which is a lot of hard work. Along with Pete Carpenter, Mike employed 50 musicians for each of these 9 weekly television shows, orchestras. Each show had a minimum of 3-hour recording session at the scoring stages of Universal Studios, Warner Brothers Studios, Paramount Studios, MGM Studios, 20th Century Fox Studios, and many other studios in the Los Angeles area. He also employed 8 different music composers who helped him write the scores for each individual show. One of them still one of my close friends, Belton Ray Bunch. He's from Goldsboro, North Carolina. We certainly hit it off when we were in LA. We're still in touch. He's how I got hired on The Dolly Show. Associating yourself with quality people. These were talented composers who Mike was employing to compose on a weekly basis. The writers and musicians were paid union wages, sometimes double, triple scale, with all the benefits, which included health care and a great pension plan. And at my age, that's a good thing. I was able to navigate this world because I had learned about working hard by observing my father and at the University of Miami and the work ethic that's required there. I didn't have the Fine Arts Center available to me at that time, although my brother was in the first class of the Fine Arts Center in the percussion department. This professional Los Angeles world of music I found myself included learning how to play a variety of stringed instruments, and whatever this particular show called on, and if it was in the sphere as what I was supposed to be done or the norm of all the other guitar players in LA, I needed to be able to do this. Sight reading anything the first time and recording it on the second reading. Learning how to achieve a professional sound. This meant learning about how to use the state-of-the-art equipment needed for the studio work. I met a gentleman named Andy Brower, who is still a lifelong friend of mine. He worked for Quincy Jones. He taught me how to get a good guitar sound in the studios of Los Angeles. Number 2, folks, people skills. His wife and my wife are also lifelong friends who we vacation with quite often. We've kept that relationship going. It's a normal statement for musicians to say, and I know V would agree with this, if there are 2 musicians of equal skill and talent, but one is hard to get along with and the other one is a nice person, the nice person wins every time. Another break came my way just because of this point. Mike was putting a band together to play his music and tour in 1983. The band included a group of super talented musicians, and I was not included in this band. It hurt. The other guitarist who'd been with Mike before I arrived in LA was chosen. He, luckily for me, was unable to get along with the other musicians and insulted Mike during the first few rehearsals for the show. One morning I get a call from Mike asking me if I wanted the gig. Now back then you had this long cable that came off of a phone that you raised, Thomas Edison or whoever did, Alexander Bell, right? So I answer it and he says, let me get back to my script. One morning, and he calls me and he said, ask me if I wanted the gig. Well, I went to the Jetsons era, went through the cable and stuck my head out and said, yes, I want the gig, of course. He told me to be at SIR Studios in North Hollywood that night at 7 p.m. and gave me the song list, not even the keys. I went to work for the next 12 hours learning all the songs and made sure that I had a great attitude when I arrived. It opened a lot of doors for me, being seen and heard with this group of well-known LA players. I also made sure across my whole career that I've associated myself with driven musicians who worked hard at their art form. They have no bad habits and show up on time to play a gig or to record in a recording studio. All of this comes back to my central theme: hard work, good people skills, and associating yourself with the right group of people for your situation. These points encompass not only your professional achievements, but also achievements in your personal life. You should strive to have a positive impact on others and make a meaningful contribution to society. As I come to the conclusion of my career with the Fine Arts Center in Greenville County Schools, I can honestly say that adhering to these rules has served me well. Working alongside this amazing faculty, amazing administrators, it's just been unbelievable. And, you know, working alongside them has just been really amazing and has truly been a blessing, and I will forever be grateful to all of you. So thank you. So graduates, as you embark on this next journey in life, remember that learning is a lifelong endeavor. Always embrace new challenges with an open mind and a sense of excitement, because every experience, whether triumphant, challenging, or failure, contributes to your growth as a person and as an artist. In conclusion, let hard work, people skills, and your positive interaction with others be your compass and your fuel for all the happiness that you have ever dreamed of. Thank you, and I wish all the 2024 Fine Arts Center graduates all the best, and I look forward to celebrating your many accomplishments. Thank you. Thank you.
Steve Watson. Thank you, Steve, for those incredible stories and just amazing tips for our graduates. We really appreciate that. So we're moving on to our presentation of scholarships. The Fine Arts Center is proud to present 8 scholarships at tonight's ceremony. Back in 2019, we presented 4 scholarships, so by higher math, that tells me in the last 4 years we have added 4 scholarships, and that is thanks to some incredibly generous donors, some of whom we'll be presenting tonight. It is important for everyone to note that deciding scholarship recipients is a very, very difficult process, especially in this school, as each award had a number of outstanding candidates, all of whom were worthy. When the recipient is announced, the student should come to the stage to receive both their certificate and well-earned applause from our guests. Our first scholarship of the evening is the Pelham Architecture Scholarship. In the spring of 2021, Bill and Laura Pelham, arts and education philanthropists, established the Pelham Architecture Scholarship. The scholarship supports a Fine Arts Center student from the FAC Architecture program who continues to pursue a degree in architecture from Clemson University. The needs-based scholarship offers $15,000 per year for up to 4 years. Here to present the award tonight is Mr. Bill Pelham.
I was fortunate enough to be a friend with Dr. Fleur, and he had an idea that we should start an architecture program, and called me up about 10 years ago and said, so what do you think? I was stunned. I said, it's brilliant. He said, well, can you hook me up with Clemson? I said, oh yeah, no problem. So we got started with that, and we've done, this is our 4th scholarship award. I think we have either 8 or 9 at Clemson now that are in the middle of the architecture program, either undergraduate or graduate. And we took 40 students a few weeks ago to tour Clemson, and all the current students showed up. So a good sign. So I'm pleased to announce the Pelham Architecture Scholarship is presented to Kate Illingworth.
In case you missed it, Mr. Pelham has a fabulous jacket liner of tiger stripes. And, oh, sorry. I believe he likes Clemson University. It also, just as a sidebar, pleases me to note Dr. Fleur is here tonight, and I believe we've accepted 48 students next year for the architecture program. It started with 10. So thank you. The Mickle Jazz Scholarship was established to support an FAC student's pursuit of an education in jazz studies at the collegiate level. This scholarship was new to the FAC last year, thanks to a very generous donation from FAC supporter Charlie Mickle. Qualifying students are identified through their body of work in the Fine Arts Center Studio Jazz program. FAC Jazz Studies instructor Steve Watson will now present the Mickle Jazz Scholarship.
Thank you. The recipient of the 2024 Mickle Scholarship has been a student at the Fine Arts Center for 4 years. This person has achieved the highest grades in all of the courses taken at the school, participated in 6 concerts at the Peace Center for the Performing Arts, 8 in-school showcases, 2 Artisphere concerts, 2 Greenville Jazz Festival concerts, a Fall for Greenville concert, and numerous concerts representing the school district of Greenville County. This student is the Outstanding Jazz Studies student for 2023-24. 24 Young Arts Voice Jazz winner with distinction, 2024 Presidential Scholar semifinalist in the arts, recipient of the 2024 Spring Sing Scholarship and the 2024 Downbeat Magazine Performing Arts High School Jazz Vocal Soloist winner. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to present to you Miss Leah Rutherford. Who will be attending the Frost School of Music at the University of Miami in the fall with a full tuition scholarship.
Our next scholarship is the Michael Rice Scholarship. Michael Rice was the vocal instructor at the Fine Arts Center for more than 30 years. To say that he was an influential educator is an understatement. Michael inspired excellence from every person he encountered, using his extensive skills as a multilinguist, opera singer, pianist, and vocal coach to inspire both students and colleagues alike. This scholarship is awarded to an outstanding senior in the FAC Voice Studio. Presenting the scholarship this evening will be our FAC Voice instructor, Ms. Danielle Knox.
I am honored to present the Michael Rice Scholarship tonight. This scholarship is awarded to an outstanding senior in the FAC Voice Studio who has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the art of singing. I've had the privilege of watching tonight's recipient grow from an energetic freshman to a confident and poised senior. She is a singer who is passionate about the relationship between text and music. She studies music deeply, which inspires sensitivity and creativity in her performances. In addition to her gorgeous voice, she excels in every aspect of singing, from her impeccable attention to detail in languages to her research of repertoire. Not a day goes by without her offering a small note of reassurance or a kind word to another student or teacher. Her empathetic heart and dedication make her a leader among her peers. We will certainly miss hearing her silvery soprano voice echoing through the halls during her daily practice sessions. Next year, this student will be attending the USC Honors College, double majoring in vocal performance and neuroscience. I am deeply honored to award the Michael Rice Scholarship in Vocal Excellence to Claire Shirley.
Debbie Reed Cook was an artist, art educator, teacher, and lecturer. She inspired her students at Pickens High School, the South Carolina Governor's School for the Arts and Humanities, and the Fine Arts Center before retiring in 2011. Debbie received awards and grants from the National Endowment for the Humanities, the Robert Rauschenberg Foundation, the South Carolina Arts Commission, the South Carolina Department of Education, and the South Carolina Art Education Association. She was selected to be a fellow for the Japan Fulbright Memorial Fund teacher program in Tokyo. This scholarship is awarded to an outstanding senior visual arts student. Here to present the award from the Debbie Cook Endowment for the Arts are Sterling Lankin and Sterling Lankin.
Hello, I'm Sterling Lankin from the Debbie Cook Foundation, and this is my mother, Debbie's sister, Sterling Odom. And Debbie Cook dedicated her career and her life to art and art education in the state of South Carolina. And everyone who knew her, even if you weren't her student, you knew she appreciated perseverance and dedication, and she even had a motto. And you couldn't miss her motto because it was up on huge letters on the wall of her classroom. And her motto was, "Do the work." Debbie was an avid international traveler. She was, like Vee just said, won many awards. Our award winner this year has a dedication and a perseverance that everyone knows about. Her work is of a quality of someone beyond her years. Like Debbie, she loves to travel, and we just can't wait to see what they do next. And I am thrilled to announce that the 2024 recipient of the Debbie Cook Scholarship in Visual Arts goes to Miss Jessie Spott.
The next scholarship we will present is the Jacob Calhoun Stevens Memorial Scholarship. Jacob was a 1995 graduate of Wade Hampton High School and the Fine Arts Center. He went on to graduate from both the University of Pennsylvania and the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts, where he specialized in painting and sculpture. The scholarship serves to honor his memory and continue his legacy at the Fine Arts Center. Here to present the award tonight is Jacob's sister, Dr. Laurel Shaler.
Well, thank you. Good evening and congratulations to all of the graduates. On behalf of my family, I am delighted to offer this scholarship to a visual arts student, and tonight's winner is Sophie Warren.
Our next scholarship is the David Lee Nelson Memorial Scholarship. Here to present the award tonight is David's mother, Ann Nelson.
Thank you for inviting me to this event. Now, I will probably say a lot of the same things you've heard all evening, so you know it's true. When V asked me to do this, and he has a standby speech in case I got cold feet or stage fright, and he read all this stuff that Davy had done and all the things he had earned or written or whatever. And I thought, wow, that's better than what I've written. But I said to V, these people don't know who Davy is. And he said, well, it's your job to let them know who he is. So that's why I'm here. I will read it. If I stutter or if I get weepy, just bear with me, okay? I'm a behind-the-scenes person. My children are the out front people. And so we'll see if we can get through this. Thank you for letting me share this event. To your graduates, congratulations. In order to graduate, you have had to complete the requirements of 2 different high schools, and you did it. To the parents, congratulations. You survived, and I know it well. To the faculty and staff, congratulations for another job well done. The Fine Arts Center is very important to my family. It has been a part of our lives for many years. All of my children were involved in arms. 2 of my daughters graduated from the Fine Arts Center, one in dance and one in theater. But you may be asking, what does that have to do with us? And who is David Lee Nelson? As you have walked down the hall leading to the theater department, you may have noticed a pair of bronzed high-top tennis shoes hanging on the wall. Dr. Floor's bust is on one end and Davy's shoes are on the other. That plaque is in memory of Davy. He taught theater at the Fine Arts Center for 3 years, and he died in September of 20, the year that y'all were beginning. He was an actor, a playwright, and a teacher. He was a wordsmith. I love that word. You know, it kind of, what are you talking about? I like weird words. He loved words, the written word, the spoken word, the serious word, and the comedic word. His favorite authors were William Shakespeare and theologian Richard Rohr. He liked to write. He wrote notes, blogs, plays, and even a book. David wrote about things he was familiar with, life things. And he encouraged his students to do the same. Davy wrote and performed one-man shows. He wrote about marriage, divorce, family, politics, and cancer, life things. His friend and collaborator on these works was Adam Knight. Adam was a former student here and a guest artist. I think last year, or he was your guest speaker. Davy's favorite movie was Dead Poets Society, and he stressed seize the day. But when he was diagnosed with cancer, his theme became wiggle your toes and be where your feet are. He always dreamed of what he would do next, his best great novel, his best great play, where he would take it. But then when cancer came, it was like, let's enjoy now, because we might not get there. He encouraged his students to dream and plan for the future, but he also stressed to them to enjoy where you are and at each moment. Be comfortable with who you are, thus the high tops. He would wear them to teach in. I've noticed there's some tennis shoes back here too. Some of you will continue your education. Some of you will go to work after graduation. And some of you may just take a break from the stress. And there's always stress. Any choice you make can be the right one for you. Just remember to be focused on who you are and where you are and work to reach your dreams. I hope Davy's story will inspire you to pursue your dreams, face your challenges with courage and determination, and stay focused on who you are, where you are, and where you want to go. To help one of you with your plans, we offer this scholarship in memory of David Lee Nelson. The recipient of this year is, hold on, I got it right here. Emma Charjan.
Thank you so much, Ann. What an honor it is to continue Davy's legacy. We just miss him so much, so thank you. Dr. Roy S. Fleur served as director of the Fine Arts Center from 1989 to 2017. His unmatched dedication to the students and staff helped establish the Fine Arts Center as a premier arts educational institution. This scholarship is awarded to a graduating senior who demonstrates artistic excellence along with the intent to study the arts at the collegiate, university, or conservatory level. Please welcome to the podium Dr. Roy Fleur.
Thank you. That's my wife, Elizabeth. She's my, yeah, thank you. She's my, we're gonna get down here, folks. Here, take the coat. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Here we go. All right, Watson. I knew Mr. Bell personally. I resent that comment about the phone you used. I found it very useful. Okay. This is a time that when you walk out those doors, go home, you will carry with you, sure, these memories. You will also carry with you memories of days here. Days that you excelled, where you were really tested and you succeeded. Days that you were troubled. And who did you turn to? The teacher who was teaching you, looking over your shoulder, and making sure that each step you took was a step towards something. No, they didn't impose that on you. They led. That's my voice that causes that. Hello. It's not good. Okay. No. They led you to understanding. They led you to educate yourselves. Is there a better gift? I don't think so. You've been given the tools to begin to understand how you can manipulate. That's not the right word. That's not the right word. Manage success. Steve mentioned some things that are very close to my heart. As a matter of fact, Henry James, the great novelist, all the creative writing people know who he is. Maybe the rest of you do too. But he said something that was really very important. You are known by what you pay attention to. My 4 sons live in that little bubble. 3 of them went to this school. The third, actually because the fourth he was already in college, but the third, we had standards. We still have standards. You live by those standards. But that third son didn't do the work. You know what his father did? He sent him back to his high school. Said, get it. Get on it. Do the work. Now he's just been awarded one of the top salesmen for diabetic products in the state of Florida. Recognized nationally for his work in marketing for diabetic products. And I took credit for that. It was me. No, I have no idea where he knows all that math. You know, I'm not a math wizard. I never took calculus. Did you ever take calculus? Those of you who took calculus, raise your hands. Oh, you crazy people. You crazy people. All right. But you are what you pay attention to. You are, this again goes to what Steve said. You are who you surround yourself with, who your friends are. Remember that. Choose wisely. Okay. Now, parents, I want to say something to you. I'll come back to you, kids. Parents, you belong to a rare group. A group of parents who, when your student came home from school and you said, "What'd you do today in school?" they answered you. You had something to listen to. They had something to tell you. How many parents out there in the ether say, "What'd you do in school today?" Nothing. No, they did something. Every day, in small classes. And I'm here to tell you that the board over here, Bradley too, when he came along, they understand the specialness of this school. They understand that you can't do what we do on the level that we do it with large classes. You are almost individually taught. And they also understand that in order to keep what we do at the top of the recognition in this state, I'm going to say in this country, because we have that reputation. V is now on the board of the national organization. I was on that board for 22 years, served as the president of that board. He's been in all the schools, I've been in all the schools. There's no school in the United States that you walk into and see what you see every morning, that incredible piece of art as you walk in the door. And the guy who helped me start the architecture program is the guy who donated that to the Fine Arts Center. And I went down with him to watch him lift a very large one of those things with a couple of his friends. I tried, I couldn't cut it. That was a heavy piece of wood. But that's what Bill Pelham does. We have friends who make this school the kind of school that when you walk out the door, you have something to say about your lives. You have something to say about what you know. And you have something to say personally about where you're going. That's your decision. You make that decision. That's who you are. That's what you've been taught. Discipline, focus, dedication. Don't muck up. Okay? So, my congratulations to all of you. One final thing. It may take a while. One final thing. V has experienced this, I know. On those days when I sat in that office and there were too many things coming from the administration who were talking to the other 40-some schools at that time, that didn't really apply to us, but we had to make sure that we were doing our duty by following all of those rules and regulations. And there were problems, parent problems, student problems. And you know what I did? You know what my pill was? You. I got up from that desk and I walked in to the building, into the studios, and watched you work. Watched you learn. Watched that expression in your eyes when you got it. Watched how you felt when you came into the building. Watched how much you said, this is my home, this is my school, this is what I'm going to come back to. That's what I did. God, what a pill. Wish I could take it today. I'm now declining into my shoes at 86. I'll be here next year at 87. I'll make it difficult. I'll have my living cane with me. Oh, yes, right. Okay. But there's some pretty remarkable people sitting up here. Those board members who understand what we need to do and help us do that. Bradley, who knows what we need to have and gets it for us. And one of the most terrible parts of my life was the year that I retired and the person who came in to replace me. Oh, heavens. Oh, heavens, I'm going to leave it there. But then we got V. We're on track, folks. You know that. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I have had words with him about his purple tennis shoes. We'll work that out, I tell you. Okay. Anyway, let me get to the business that I was invited to do. I think they knew I was going to say something. Okay. This is the scholarship, my scholarship. I'm giving it to myself. No. Can you guess that I grew up as an actor? My mother and father were in the theater. I was born in the theater. Literally, I was born in Chicago while they were performing. So yes, lifetime. Lifetime as an arts administrator, 50 years when I retired. But when you see the kind of candidates that we had to review this year, the eligible candidates that we had to review this year, it was astounding. It's like what you've heard here for the previous winners. Where do you come from? What do you drink? What do you have for breakfast? It is astounding how you get so much done in so many different areas and excel in all of them. You've heard it. Where do these people come from? Where are these people going to go? You're going to go to a lot of places from here because of this school, this faculty, this board, this administration. So, the person who receives the Roy Flores Scholarship, there were 19 candidates. Not easy. Never is. Harder this year for a lot of reasons. A lot of discussion. We finally arrived at someone, not surprisingly, outstanding academically, outstanding artistically, outstanding what she does in the community. Oh, damn, I gave it away. Hello. Outstanding what she does in the community. And outstanding because of what she had to face and overcome to get here and to do the work that she's done. Outstanding student. So pleased to award the Flores Scholarship to Audrey Seahorn.
Well, I just learned one of the job requirements for director of the Fine Arts Center is to not take calculus. We have that in common. And as someone who wrote the program, it is my right to skip over the scholarship order as I have done. So my greatest apologies to our next scholarship presenters who are fabulous people. And last year, Don Westcott emailed me and said, "I love your school. My son has thrived. How can I help?" And I said, "Let's do a scholarship." So this scholarship is presented in honor of Barbara Jo Westcott, who is the grandmother of Dylan Westcott, who you'll see in a moment with a fabulous shirt. Dylan was class of 2023 FAC Jazz Studies, and his grandmother was a lifelong educator and lover of music. The scholarship will serve to honor her memory and continue to support students at the FAC who are studying percussion and pursuing higher education. Please welcome to the podium Don and Dylan Westcott.
Hi all. Can y'all hear me? They can hear me? Okay, cool. I'm not much of a words guy. I'm more of a musician, as obviously some of you might know. But, and thank you, Mr. Popet. I'm honored to be here today in front of all of you students to award the Barbara Westcott, yada yada. Barbara Westcott was my grandma, wow, I'm super nervous. I'm sorry, guys. This is the first time I'm getting up and doing this. Let me just tell you a little bit about her. She loved music. She was one of the reasons that I actually went to a Boston bass camp with Victor Wooten and a bunch of other great musicians. She went to most of my concerts, even the ones that she couldn't see because of COVID. We had sent her links online, and she had viewed and watched all of them. After every performance that I had ever had, she had messaged me and said, "You did such a great job. I'm so proud of you." And we think that because of her and because of this scholarship, know what I mean. Whoever wins this, you won this because you're great and you've done a great job. Sorry for essentially wasting y'all's time coming up here and not reading my script at all. I'm gonna pass it off to my dad now.
And that's why we practice. Steve and I had that conversation earlier. Thanks, Dylan. It's definitely exciting to be giving out this scholarship this evening. I don't personally know the student who won, but through some recon with their teacher and one of their classmates, I learned about the passion and the drive that this person has. And I can honestly say that my stepmom, Grammy B, would be thrilled to be giving this person this award because they worked so hard at everything they've been doing. And while this award, is for percussion, as Mr. Puppet said, it must be noted that this student plays several instruments along with the drums. I've seen a lot of music in my lifetime. I'm not a professional musician, but I think I know a good bit. And in my humble opinion, I don't know too many musicians who've conquered both percussion and stringed instruments in the way that this talented musician has. It's quite a feat. On top of that, this student is also a singer and has been performing live for many years at recitals in school as well as church events. And if that's not impressive enough, they did all of this while finishing high school with a GPA of 4.152. Wow, that's impressive. Finally, at an event I was able to attend last week, I was able to spend a few minutes with one of our classmates. I did ask them to promise me that they would keep it to themselves who the winner was, and they said no problem. And they shared with me a few things about this person. And when I finally told them the name, they kind of took a step back a little bit, can't hear me, took a step back, very thoughtful, and said, wow, she's one of the best drummers at the Fine Arts Center and deserves this award. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in congratulating Diori Keller as the winner of this scholarship.
And we are on to our final scholarship. Also a fun fact of more math that directors can't do. There's actually 9 scholarships, not 8, and that's not calculus, that's addition. So luckily we have a bookkeeper at the Fine Arts Center who can help with stuff like that. Our final scholarship is the Sheffield Wood Scholarship. Sheffield Wood was a graduate of the Fine Arts Center and the International Baccalaureate program at Southside High School. She was the first student in Greenville County to complete the International Baccalaureate Design program, and upon submission of her portfolio, earned one of the highest scores in the world for her efforts. The scholarship recipient is chosen by a committee of community members with priority placed on academic achievement and the embodiment of Sheffield's spirit of kindness and generosity. The winner this year is a student who has demonstrated outstanding academics, work ethic, and creativity. The student has been a difference maker since early on in their FAC career. They've served on the Student Advisory Council, the Tri-M Music Honor Society Executive Board. They were selected as a junior marshal and a student ambassador. They've earned local, regional, and national recognition as an artist, regularly attended FAC events, and were active at their home base high school. This student is a phenomenal musician and an equally phenomenal human. She is headed to the Honors College at the University of South Carolina as a double major in vocal performance and neuroscience. Please join me in congratulating the winner of the 2024 Sheffield Wood Scholarship, Claire Shirley. And again, I just want to state how difficult it is to pick. I'm just in an advisory position. The scholarship committees can ask me about the students, and I'm of no help, because I'm always like, they're great, that one's great, that one's great. Everyone's doing amazing things. We have students going to colleges all over the country. We have students going internationally. We have students taking a gap year. We have students going right to work. It's just an embarrassment of riches here, so thank you. At this point, we are going to present certificates of completion to the FAC class of 2024. I would like to ask our junior marshals to bring the first row of students to the stage. And now please welcome our Fine Arts Center Assistant Director, Ms. Nicole Michelle, to the podium for reading of names and presentation of certificates.
Good evening, everyone. There are 2 students who are unable to attend this evening, so before these students walk across the stage, I would like to take a moment to recognize Quincy Adair of the vocal program and Aria Melcher of creative writing. Emily Allison. Jessica Amos. Madeline Arnheider. Ava Arnold. Evelyn Barrett. Emma Bass. Charlie Bell. Nasir Bell. Anna Grace Bork. Hannah Briggs. Bella Brockington. Asher Brownlee. Charlie Callahan. Catherine Carlson. Jewel Carter. Dylan Clay. Sabine Cohen. Sophie Coulter. Kaylee Cox. Skylin Amaria Cunningham. Mila Doherty. Allison Dougal. Veda Duncan. Lily Flores. Mary Bostic Fort. Abigail Kate Fowler. Arthur Freeland. Emmanuel Friedlob. Courtney Christine Gaither. Eliza Garvin. Matthew Genist. Danny Jaguar. Jackson Goldie. Autumn Green. Hadley Green. Alyssa Gundrum. Sebastian Gutierrez. Ella Hale. Zach Hansen. Donovan Hawthorne. Savannah Haywood. Sam Heckman. Paris Hester. Julia Higginbotham. Charlie Hinson. Poppy Hinson. Sarah Hoffman. Aiden Hogan. Darrell Howard. Lauren Hunter. Kate Illingworth. Lorelei Jantz. Jayla Itoya Jenkins. Kaylin Jones. Peyton Kokoris. Megan Kane. Sila Karwatka. Gabriel Kinney. Omarion Kirksey. Jessica Lawrence. Christina Leach. Jersey Lee. Caroline Leggett. Jordan Leggett. Diori Lucario Keller. Trisha Manley. Sean Martin. Talisha Martin Smith. Amanda Mays. Hugh Eames McCulloch. Lily McKay. Nicholas Meekins. Buddy Miller. Emily Mackenzie Cookie Miller. Jacqueline Mormon. Mia Marilyn Monroe. DeMarcus Moore. Jamar Morales Monsija. Lillian Mosey. Ariana Navarrete. Shelby Nichols. Alondra Overa. Lillian Ortega. Simeon Palici. Pardon me, Palicelli. Lena Patton. Malachi J. Penn. Angie Maribel Penuela Martinez. Alexa Perez Litwin. Lane Perkins. Josh Pickens. Sarah Kimball Poinsett. Jasmine Promuños. William James Rayleigh. Leah Rutherford. Carter Secosia. Katarina Sanchez. Lee Amanda Sangronis. Olivia Schreiber. Thomas Schumacher. Audrey Seahorn. Alex Schaefer. Elijah Shanks. Claire Shirley. Blake Slaughter. Evan Hollister Smith. Jessica Spott. Grace Diane Strunk. Lakin Tittle. Elizabeth Townsend. Emma Turgeon. Benjamin Rocco Turner. Grace Verano. Emily Vonderbeck. Gavin Wallen. Sophie Warren. Lorelei Webb. Abigail Welchel. And last but certainly not least, Addie Yarrow.
A lot of smiling. One more round of applause, please, for the FAC class of 2024. Now please rise, if you are able, for the singing of the Fine Arts Center Alma Mater. Thank you. Please be seated. So if we go past 9 o'clock, we pay overtime, so donate to the Fine Arts Center. To close tonight's celebration, I just want to say a few words to our FAC seniors. One more Popat pep talk for the road. And it's interesting, from Steve's speech and from what Roy said and Ann's comments, it's almost like we knew what each other was going to say beforehand. And I'm reminded of something I used to say to students a lot. I don't have to say it a lot to Fine Arts Center students, but I used to say to my middle schoolers, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And it's an interesting thing to talk about what Steve said about how his connections helped him and those friendships helped him along the way, and Roy's comments. And then, of course, Ann and Davey was such a great friend to us. It's interesting how connected we all are in our thoughts that way. And so, students, I'm sure you recall a meeting in October, maybe you do, maybe you don't, where I did, on a whim, one afternoon, I just pulled the seniors in to the recital hall. Because I noticed for a few straight days, parents, that our senior class in particular seemed to be carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. It was about the time of the year when college application deadlines were approaching, students were battling or had succumbed to senioritis, and students who normally handled stress well, that stress that Ann spoke about, were showing physical signs of wilting. So I pulled them into the recital hall and we talked about the ebb and flow of life. Stress that comes like an ocean wave. It hits you, it knocks you down, and then it recedes. And we contrasted how those waves felt like when we were little kids playing on the beach, delighting in the dance with the sea. and how now, during this pivotal year of their life, that dance felt more like a trod, a reluctant trudge through this stage of life, the students with the weight of the world on their shoulders facing major life decisions ahead of them. Who am I? Where am I going to go to college? What's my major going to be? How am I ever going to get through this? What if I fail? What if I pick the wrong school, the wrong major? He had one foot out the door while simultaneously clinging to the doorframe of the FAC, not wanting to leave. And we talked about career paths and just how what you think you'll be doing will likely be entirely something different. Just out of curiosity, by show of hands from the adults in the audience, this is going to be audience participation time. How many adults in the audience are doing something different in their lives right now than they thought they would be doing when they were that age? Students, you might want to turn around. Yep, there you go. You don't know. I told you that day. You don't know. All you can do is prepare by doing hard things, the hard things that Dr. Fleur was talking about. You learn to stand in the waves of stress and keep your balance. With the knowledge that the waves come and go, there's always a break. Some days the waves are relentless. Some days they're calm. Maybe now, seniors, you've gained perspective on the stress of this school year. You can look back at that time in October, November and laugh a little bit and see that the ocean is a little calmer. Maybe yours is still roaring, but here you are, and you're still standing. These experiences, especially those framed by the art school experience, will be your greatest asset. So often we have alumni come back and tell us how prepared they are, and it's not just the content or the classwork or the courses or the performances. You've been formed by your daily experiences. The time you got a standing ovation and the time you were cut from the concert program. The time you thought you wrote the best thing ever, created what you thought was an artistic masterpiece, played your best solo, or danced your best routine, only to get critical feedback right away. Could have done better. Could have achieved more. Could have practiced more. Should have lifted this leg higher. Should have done a line this way. One of my favorite quotes I've used throughout my teaching career is, "Experience is what you get when you do not get what you want." I most certainly learned this too late, and not coincidentally, I did not attend an arts high school. I auditioned for gigs and didn't get them. I was told I wasn't good enough to go to a particular grad school. I went anyway. And then I wasn't good enough to get a doctorate degree in music performance. I never got one. I said I would never be a teacher. Then I said I'm never going to be an administrator. I said I'd never leave New Jersey. I've been turned down for jobs, passed over for gigs, took career paths I never thought I would, and was called crazy for leaving a perfectly good job in a perfectly good state, moving my perfectly good family to South Carolina. These are the waves of the ocean of your life. And your arts education has taught you to stand in your power. Dance with the waves, laugh like a child, enjoy the ebb and the flow. This is what studying art in a pre-professional environment teaches you. It is what you should have learned at the FAC, and you may not realize it or be able to appreciate it now, but you're guaranteed someday you will. You are more prepared, you are more creative, you are more. So I want to congratulate you on the conclusion of this magnificent chapter of your life, full of successful and unsuccessful projects, great and meh performances, broken ceramic pieces, and your finest creations. All of them are to be celebrated. May you continue to dance with the waves, thrive in the hard movements and moments, and bask in the easy ones. May you create beauty in our world through the expression of your true artistic self. Class of 2024, you have left your mark, and we will never forget you. Thank you very much. Thank you.